Hey, everybody, welcome to Tarot with an Attitude and the Karmic Path. I am your host with my co host, Miss Laura Van Tyne, and I am Reverend Rob Lee from Tarot with an Attitude. Wow, bangarang. Okay, so we're having a few technical difficulties. Hang in there with us, all right? And we're getting all this worked out, but things are happening. So, you know what? How are you tonight, Miss Laura?
I am great. I'm here with you. It's been a really rough and busy week, but here we are. So
Here we
I
are.
have no complaining.
Here we are. We were supposed to do another record or whatnot. I'm wondering if we shouldn't just every Friday night, let's take Teacher to Exorcist Crossing Realms
Yeah,
together, and maybe it just becomes a live show. I don't know.
maybe we
You
do
know,
that. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what
I know
happens.
how to live up on a Friday night.
Yeah, time to party.
Woohoo.
Yeah, exactly. So we saw some people coming in. Hey, everybody, welcome. When you come in, do me a favor. Make sure you type in where you're from. I know some of y'all may have done it the other night. I had a good group of people the other night. When I just did, I told everybody, I said, we're just going to chill out, and I'm going to do some, because of all the hectic crap on Tuesday. For Wednesday, Miss Laura, what I did is I just did readings for people. All right.
Oh, nice.
So I got my cards ready to go. We'll do whatever. But I'd
All
like to
right.
hear from everybody. Now, we haven't done a live this time on a Friday night. So might take a little bit for people to come in. But so you have been going crazy. Now, I know you were dealing with stuff. I don't know if I'm mentioning personal stuff or not, but like the
Yeah, go
fires
for it.
up there, you had a loved one dealing with that.
Yeah, one of my daughters was really close to a fire in Southern California, and that's unfortunately fires in Southern California. It's like a way of life. Like I
Right.
remember living in Southern California before fire season existed. It's
Okay.
before the flu season existed too.
Right.
So she had been without power for a while. And I just said, hey, try to fly up here if you wanted to. She's coming up tomorrow, but yeah, it's all good.
Well, good, good. As long
Hey,
as it's all,
Renee.
that's all I want to hear.
Yeah,
Everything's
it is
good.
good. It's a little unnerving because it's like when you're in that situation, where do you go? What do you do? And anybody out there, life is fragile. Life can change the moment, right? And
In a
honestly,
moment.
everybody, I believe, needs to have basically a go bag, a bag of emergency rations in the back of your car. Figure out what your climate is like, and it stays in there, and you're ready to go. And you have a list ready of if you have to evacuate, if it's a fire, if it's flood, if it's a whatever, what do you take with you? And have your list on your computer, printed, or wherever it is, because in those moments of panic, you don't want to forget something important.
Right.
And I
Scan
know where
all
those
your
things are.
documents, get everything, put it
Yeah.
up on a server somewhere, or whatnot. But that is one of those things. I agree. Having one of the reasons I left Florida, I got tired of having to be on
Yeah.
go every year for evacuating. Monica, good to see you. Welcome. Bangarang, everybody. Miss Deborah. I, Rev
Yeah.
Rob, Laura, Gillian, and Renee. Everybody's checking in. Love it. I love it. I love it when everybody starts popping in. Hey, guys, we're doing this special. So now you've got us both here, and we didn't come in with really any set agenda. So if you have a question that you want to ask, energy healing, dark entities, you know what? And I might kick this off talking to you, Miss Laura, about this whole reptilian thing.
All
Okay?
right.
So let's get ready to go there, because I know I've heard a lot about it, and then like the Arcturians and whatnot. I have to admit, I have not been in connection with all that. You
You know
know?
what? That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, no. I kind of figured that might be a good thing to be a little ignorant of. Deborah, and Miss Nikki,
Yeah.
welcome. Boom. Hey, if y'all want some readings, I'm going to do readings tonight. Miss Laura will help or give her interpretation or whatnot. But we are, and now there's a show on Prime that I keep falling asleep through. It's like I wait for my wife to go to sleep and then I turn it on. But it's Reptilians. All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I had no idea that this was really a. So
Hmm.
let me ask you this. reptilians, are they ETs or are
Yep.
they other dimensional energies?
So when we think about yes, they are ETs.
Okay.
And there's many different forms of ETs. We can think of angels as ETs also,
Okay.
right? I mean, we can think of them in that way. There's malevolent and benevolent, right?
Right.
And the reptilians, there's hierarchies. There's different subspecies of them, and I unfortunately deal with them a lot. They are The reptilians are the ones that started the communistic form of government on this planet.
Okay.
And so when I work with somebody, and I've never really talked about this, by the way, into this depth on air. When I'm working with somebody, and let's say they have all of these blockages and these entities on them, and I find out that they're reptilians or whatever they are, it doesn't matter. I'm blessed to be able to have the ability with my spiritual team to put them in a containment field. And when I do that, I will quiz the hell out of them. Excuse me. I shouldn't have said it that way. The heck out of them. Because,
Oh, hell, don't say that again.
all right, fine. And I quiz them. And I know that I'm going to get 2 lies and a truth or a partial truth or something, right? These things are nasty. And there will be some people that say there's some good ones out there. There might be. That's fine. But by and large, no. And the large ones are more of the warrior species. The smaller ones are more of the brainiacs, the organizers. And I've been able to quiz them, and I've gotten a lot of data points that match up and marry up between hundreds of client sessions with these guys.
Okay.
They're of the mindset that we are slaves to them. They want to own us. They left the light of God with, Lucifer and those other entities. Now they need a light source. They need a fuel or an energy source. They work with other species as well. They have bosses. They have a spiritual boss. So if you guys think that when we die and politics is over, think again.
Oh, yeah. No.
There's a political hierarchy in every realm, period. So they are very real. And there are times when if I'm watching the news, I can see them in people.
Okay.
And I can see them phasing in and out. I remember I spoke at an event.
I got to introduce you to my ex.
Okay. Reptilian? I'm kidding. This is a true story. And this was a little unnerving. And I'm at an event, and I'm speaking at this event, and somebody else is speaking, and they're a channeler. I am not a fan of channeling when the entity comes inside the body to give a message, because the light side does not need to do that.
Right. I would
They
agree.
can give us messages in many ways. So this person was allowing the entity to come in to the body, his body, and start speaking. And he channeled a reptilian, and I kid you not, I could see that thing as a hologram through his body. I could see the bumpy skin, and this one was a green texture. And he starts out with saying, we started World War II because humanity needed us to help them. And I'm like, oh, I got questions, right? And here's the thing is that the channeler started he started mumbling. Okay. And everybody, please pay attention. The channeler was mumbling, and it was very quiet. So when somebody's talking and they're mumbling, you start to lean in, right?
Correct.
You're bowing to them subconsciously, and your crown chakra is now pointing in their direction. Think about that. Stand proud, stand tall. And I started to ask questions. And the next thing I know, I could feel these tentacles wrap around both of my legs to the chair. And I'm like, oh, I got to get out of here. I literally stood up. I said, no more. And I left. And everybody
you're
was
bringing
like,
something up there. And I do want to let people know, and I know in some of the things that I have dealt with and the entities and different things or whatnot, and in banishing or whatnot, there is nothing wrong with standing up and I think a lot of people think we have to confront. That's our job, is to confront. And you know what? There are times we are not mentally prepared. There are times, this is to me, okay?
Yeah.
When it is the best thing to do is to bow out of that fight and return to fight another day more prepared when you know what you're dealing with. Would you agree?
Here's why I didn't fight.
Okay.
There was 75 other people in that room that could have been affected. They don't have the skill set I have. I could not put them in jeopardy. I got up and I left.
Right.
And here's what else happened. For the rest of that conference, people started getting sick with weird things. A woman had a tooth was cracked. I mean, just weird stuff was going on. It was a very unfortunate set of circumstances. But here's something else happened along the way. Is after that presentation, I was asked if I could give a bonus presentation. There was some time, and the owner of the conference says, "Hey, would you mind?" And so it gave me an opportunity to teach people how stuff like this worked in a general way. I wasn't going to call out that speaker. And unfortunately, that speaker is owned by them. They own his soul. Think about that. So that was probably one of the more upfront, tangible instances I've had with the reptilians, but I deal with them all the time. I had years ago, and this is not in the book, Teacher to Exorcist, but one of my daughters was in middle school, and they had one of these speakers come to the school, right? And you don't really know as a parent of a middle schooler, some people is whatever. And all of a sudden, our house started getting filled up full of Jewish concentration camp victims. And then the Nazis came in. And you can see them, you can feel them. And all of a sudden, the Nazi perpetrators were actually reptilians. This was years prior. And they started whipping us, the living people, me and one of my daughters. And they were the Nazi concentration camp victims. Their souls escaped them, and they ran into the light, which was our house, for safety. So the battle continued. We think that once somebody is dead, oh my gosh, oh thank goodness, they're in a better place. Don't assume that. It took me a little while to clear and clean that up and to remove all of those reptilians. That was my first real hard experience with them. I don't take what I do lightly.
So let me ask you this. Reptilians, and there are other demons, different things that are not good. They're not of the light, or they were originally of the light. They ran from the light or whatnot. Because I have had people say that just can't be true. God wouldn't create that. What I remind people of is, wait a minute. If you're going to go down that path, a biblical path, okay? God created Satan. Mm-hmm. Did he create him as evil? No, but he gave him the same free will we have. And he chose to abandon. So we don't know what we don't know. And I've always letting people understand, we don't know how many other times something was created that is now affecting what we have. And too many people want to lock into that. God made earth. That's it. This is here. Well, then your very Bible talks about giants roaming the earth and the sons of man, which were angels that were coming down, and knowing women. That's in the Bible. Don't shoot the messenger, people. Okay? But that's right in your own Bible. The old KJV version. Okay?
It's also in other holy texts, right? It's more than just the Bible. A lot of these holy texts have the similar messages.
Exactly. So in that, where do you think, all right, which came reptilian, God created, other dimension? Does God go through dimension? See, where we can go kind of We can go off the rail. You and I can go down another one of our wormholes. Okay. And welcome into the minds of Laura and Rob.
Ooh, this
Yeah.
this
It
is
gets deep,
dangerous.
folks. I'm telling you. Be careful what you wish for. You just might go to bed going, what the hell was that?
All right, so here's a concept.
Okay.
Christ did not come to this planet to mitigate the sins for humanity for in perpetuity. I'm going to be honest with you, that's just stupid, okay?
Okay. Okay. And now again,
What
everybody
if
just chill.
what if Christ came here to mitigate the karma caused by the Lucifer rebellion and to say to humanity, you have it within you. You own it. You are it. What if that was supposed to be the message? Because if Christ has to, atone for my sins, etc., absolve me of my sins, that puts me in a place where I have to feel guilt. And guilt is a low frequency emotion vibration. So who taught us that? Just a thought. That's just.
No, I'm right there with you. And this is where old Baptist preachers that listen to me that say they don't listen to me or whatnot, then they get so, I don't know how many preachers I'm responsible for having a stroke, okay? But when they say, and I'm not trying to take away from who Christ was or Jesus was.
Oh,
or
me
anything
neither.
like that. I'm like you. I believe he was placed here as an example of what we have available to us if we would learn how to use it and the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And what's funny, I hear people quoting Exodus and Leviticus all the time, okay? Particularly when it comes to activities that the right-wing conservative find revolting, don't like, or whatnot. However, one of the reasons they brought Christ before Pilate was breaking the law. And people will say, well, but he didn't break the law. And, bottom line is, until his death, if you go through the Bible, okay, and folks, this is scripture, all right? Until his death, when that sin was supposedly paid for, all right, we were living under law. And that's why every year the Jews had to make a sacrifice. There were things that had to happen. Things were spelled out. You are living by law, okay? However, once he died, if you believe he died for your sins, and I'm not saying he didn't, I'm just saying
I'm not saying he didn't either, but more to it. There's more to it than that.
Yeah, check your own belief, because at that point, what he told us is we're now living under grace. For by grace are you saved through faith, not of works. It is a gift of God, so no man can boast. And so stop, think. That's what the Jews originally charged him with, okay? Now, he had a good explanation of we're hungry or whatnot. But there were set rules that we were supposed to live by. And even he, at one point, told somebody, give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, give unto God that which is God. So we are supposed to honor our laws, our system of government, things like that. But what he came, I'm going to be like the sergeant in Stripes. What he came to, or Bill Murray, what he came to do, okay, was to show everybody we don't live under law. Our intentions is where we are. Did I break the law if my intentions were good? And that's that's what I want people to understand. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not the Christ. I'm not saying he's not the Son of God, okay? I believe we're all sons of God, okay? I believe we all have that God energy within us, all right? And that's one of the things we need to do is we're trying to learn and get back and get higher and closer to that center of power. So if I went on a rant there, folks, sorry.
No,
Let me
you're
throw a
right.
disclaimer.
And
You know,
yeah,
of that.
and
But
I get very passionate about this because I find people trying to hand their power over to others on a silver platter all the time. And for as an ascended master to come to this planet to say, you know, I'm here to absolve you of your sins for an eternity. What is the karma in that? What's the lesson in that, right? So
right,
there's a lot to it. And when we go back to those biblical paintings, we see a lot of devil figures that are actually reptilian.
correct.
The scaly creatures, the little horns. Not all the reptilians have little horns. And hey, Troy, I love Troy, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's I posted
Troy
him up
helped
there. I
me
didn't
out
think you
today.
saw it, but there we go. You know,
Troy helped me out today.
did he?
Yes, I had been feeling a lot of just mind-boggling sadness and sorrow. And Troy is very skilled. And he worked with me for about 5 minutes and boom, it's gone. Yeah. So
There we
it
go.
was, I was just picking up collective energies, and it happens to everybody every now and then. And, you know, I've got people in my back pocket. We all need people to help us out, no matter what the facet is in life, right? So,
Right,
anyways, thanks, Troy.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good for
So
you, Troy.
reptilians
Thank
are
you,
a
thank you,
thing.
thank you.
They're a
Yeah.
thing. I wish
So
they weren't.
the room's gotten dead quiet. All right, and I think they're all like, "What are we doing?"
Whoa,
If y'all
what?
have any questions, let us know. Ask questions.
Yeah.
We'll be glad, and we will tell you this is opinion. This is not, or whatnot. Okay, but that you're right. I want you to question everything. One of the things that drives me nuts is when people stop fact checking me. Then shut up, because we were given a brain. We should be fact checking everybody. We should be fact checking our preachers. We should be fact checking our politicians. We should be fact checking our news, everything else. What is the thing? That's what you're supposed to do. And I've said before at one time that one of the good things my dad did as a Baptist minister was he There we go.
Oh,
Yep. I just had a flicker,
we,
so we'll see what happens. All right, we're
who are you
back.
talking? Who's upset by what you're talking about?
Ooh,
Oh, you did it again.
all right. And then he challenged people to go home that week and read that scripture and always check anything he said. Because we should not be dependent upon man. You need to discern. You and I did a whole thing talking about discernment. Okay. You need to discern something.
Uh-oh.
Man, you know what? Let me see what I can do.
This is like it's refreshing that it's not me.
Yeah, hold on. Let me I'm gonna try to
we're gonna
turn
work
on
on clearing the
my
lines too, okay? I think we're garnering some attention.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't happening just for just for shits and giggles. There are
It's not
people.
like you're out in the middle of nowhere like I am.
Right. No, I'm sitting in here and so I'm trying to connect over to my Wi-Fi. So if something happens, we'll see what happens. Okay.
All right,
I'm
awesome.
gonna try to get over to it and let's see what's going on. It's still trying to connect. So this is crazy because I'm in the heart of a city in a shared office with some great Wi-Fi, and the fact that this is not even connecting over. Okay.
I have a hamster spinning the wheel for my Wi-Fi.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm kidding.
All right, Wi-Fi, port walk connected.
Yeah, so while you're doing that, I'm just going to talk.
Okay, please go right ahead. And if they lose anything, then, that's what.
Yeah. God gifted us free will. And we have to remember that. And we talked about discernment in the past. And for anybody who's looking for spiritual help, ask what is what works, how does that spiritual practitioner clear themselves? How do they find out where they get their information from, etc.? And Jillian has a question from the gallery. What would be
Okay.
the way to know they're present and how to acknowledge and send away safely? Really good question. Okay. How do you know they're present? Sometimes there's many ways, all right? And it depends on what kind of entity it is. It depends on what their strengths are. So there's many. There's who's who in the spiritual zoo. So you have something fleeting out of the corner of your eye. What was that? You've got a heavy energy around you. You, like, for example, I was picking up a collective sadness today. It was really actually quite very heavy. And I knew it wasn't mine. And sometimes I need help because I've been working like 14-hour days for months on end. I'm not kidding. And I'm tired. And so when I'm tired, I know I become weaker. So this is why strength and stamina is important. And that do you find that you're having these odd arguments with a loved one over nothing, right? They didn't put the cap on the toothpaste or whatever it is. Check yourself. Or if somebody you're working with or talking to has this visceral reaction, they may have something on them that you're unaware of. So what you can do a few things. One is call in your angels. I am requesting a team of angels from the higher realms to come into my space and remove all negative entities and energies right now. It takes practice. The more you practice, the more you do it. Do it every day. Do it. The angels are here to help us. Another thing you can do if you're going into a contentious meeting, for example, or maybe the holidays are coming up, family reunion time, right? Family reunions are just a treasure trove of drama,
this
especially
Thanksgiving's going to be a you know what for a
yeah.
lot of people.
Oh my gosh, right, with the politics and stuff. Are you going to sit at the red table or the blue table? Anyways, I'm just kidding, but not.
I hear you.
There's a lot of ways, and that's a perfect question. And so if you don't feel right, if you feel off, if you feel like the energy in your house is heavy or something going on. So one of the things you can do is utilize essential oils. I use frankincense all the time. Sacred frankincense from Young Living is my favorite. I don't sell it. I like it. But make sure your essential oil is 100% pure and it doesn't have a chemical or an additive in it. It cuts down the potency. You can put a cross on your chest where your solar plexus is, your heart chakra, on your third eye. That helps. Those shapes, a cross is 90-degree angles. There's angels in the angles is how I like to say it. Okay. It's not original with me. I forget where I heard it from, but it's like, yep. You can play joyous music. Force yourself to smile and be happy, because love and joy makes it hard for them to attach to you.
Absolutely. I want people to think about it this way too. Have you ever been to? We've all been here. Okay. I know. Y'all are angels, and it's just me. Okay. It's just me that gets this way every now and then, where I'm pissed. Don't try to unpiss me. Okay. I want to be pissed, and I'm enjoying being pissed. All right. And when you start coming around being Martha Stewart, or little Miss Mary Ray of Sunshine, you will find out a lot of times people that are in that mood, and it's an energy level, all right? They can't take it, all right?
There's a delta. It's a frequency delta.
Exactly, okay? So, and they will step away. It is one of those things where you do have to ask yourself, remember, this is also intuition. When we talk about the things we see out of the corner of our eye. Now, here's where I'm going to bring science into it, and everybody hates me for this, but it's just the way it is.
Oh, I love it. I used to be a science teacher.
We've all done the finger thing, bring it up here, and next thing you know, you got two fingers in the middle. You're like, what's going on? That's our brain filling in blank spots, and it's checking what it thinks should be there. So if there are things that moves by us and we think it was a person, don't sell the phone, okay, that grandma just walked by, okay? That may not be it because your
Right.
brain may be actually filling in because we don't see as much as what we think we see. Those are peripherals, things like that. However, and I think I told you about this one, Laura, when you're looking at a ghost or a spirit or somebody head on, and then a lot of times with these reptilian things, you will see something in their face. You will see something that
Yeah.
just appears a little bit distorted.
The eyes.
But there is no doubt, or when you're seeing an actual ghost or whatnot, because it's materializing in front of you, which I have seen, all right, and you have seen. We've been there with entities, demons, whatnot, all right? You will see this. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? When your eyes are seeing it full on and you're seeing this for 2 or 3 seconds or more, okay, now it's time to question. And this is where that intuitive nature comes in. We've all got it. And one of the things I'd like everybody to learn is everybody out there can do what Laura and I do, all right? We've just allowed ourselves to become a little more tuned in and we trust ourselves more. Okay, in that aspect. That's not putting anybody down, okay? Because we need more people doing this.
It's also practice, right? It's a spiritual practice. And also, it's important to understand spiritual safety.
Yep.
While we're doing this, because I've been clobbered so many times. There's recently, I don't know if you heard, Tucker Carlson had talked about being attacked by demons and he was shocked.
No, I didn't. I'd like
yeah,
to hear
he
that
did.
one.
He did. He woke up and he had scratch marks on him and he was bleeding. He thought it was a dream until he saw the blood on his sheets. And he just came out with this a few days ago, I think. And I did a like a 4.5-minute clip explaining like how this can happen to somebody on my YouTube channel.
Right.
It's only 4.5 minutes. But he was surprised. And here's the thing is that he left a network and it was detrimental to the network. So was he being punished, or was he being punished for creating the documentary A Line in the Sand and a few others that are really riveting and very true? So he left himself open. He didn't know he left himself open. Okay. And even if you don't leave yourself open, you can get nailed. It is what it is.
And you know what, people, here's what I need to say. Oh, I want to say hi to Catherine, and I think this might be from your neck of the woods there.
Yeah.
Tootie, how are you? Glad to see you. Just want to say hi to everybody. I want y'all to understand, because sometimes people will sit back and be like, why is it always me? Why is it always me? You know what? The devil didn't have to mess with Ted Bundy too much. He had him.
Yep.
All right? When somebody is constantly getting messed with, or you feel like you're constantly under attack, number one, you need to learn how to protect yourself, build a wall, build a shield, where to go, how to do it. We need to do a whole show on protection.
I actually offer online classes on my website for that.
That's right, you do.
On demand. So, they're affordable because I don't want to break the bank for anybody, but this is important.
Yeah, it is. It really is. But it's also a sign that they see a danger to the dark in you. So wake up. Why are they afraid? Okay? And you know what? This goes with almost any attack. All right? If somebody's attacking you vehemently and repeatedly, as we have seen a lot of, all right? What is it about you that they're afraid of? Because a lot of times these attacks come from a place of fear.
Yep.
All right? And, I'm just giving you all food for thought, not answering every question here or whatnot. So if anybody's got any
Well,
questions, let
here's
me know.
another thought, though. If you're not making a difference, they would leave you alone. Right?
Exactly.
So if you're not making a difference, it means that you're making a difference. It means that you've got God light within you, God source energy within you, and you're doing something good for the world. They can't have that. What we need to understand is that we all have, all souls, all ghost souls need to be crossed over. Okay. Why? Because the dark side utilizes them. So, for example, somebody like Ted Bundy, I guarantee you he did not reincarnate from the higher realms. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm serious. And I'm going to tell you this. This is another reptilian story. And this is terrifying, but knowledge is power.
Okay.
When they capture these souls, they will reincarnate them. Now, Ted Bundy has a spiritual team from the underworld.
Right.
He can still break out of it, okay? But it takes a lot more effort. So we need to make sure every loved one and even not so loved one crosses over. The soul of Ted Bundy was originally God's source energy that became corrupted through time.
Absolutely.
Oh, there's Miss Chastity too. Hi,
There's
Chastity.
Chassity. Hey, girly girl, how are ya? Good to see you. Glad you are here. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love to watch her videos. If y'all need to check out Unveiling Addiction, whether you got an addiction issue, somebody recovering from it or not. Chassity's energy is just insane. Okay?
Oh, I know, right? By the way, I'm outing her. She's like doing all this like tumbling that's meant for like 12-year-olds, and she looks like she's competing with the 12-year-olds.
Right.
In a good
Chassity,
way.
I tumble too, but a lot of times when I'm getting off the freaking toilet, okay?
Oh, I was going to say out of the bed. Roll out of bed and fall. I don't know.
Yeah. But she'll dance. She'll do a little dance for you, and this is what I'm saying. Chassity, I'm going to pick on you a little bit, not in a bad way, okay? So, see, yeah, all right. Chassity went through hell. She's got an amazing story. Maybe we need to get Chassity back on here one night, okay?
Oh, we should.
But it was a hard fight once she knew she was getting clear and getting clean and dealing with some stuff. It's a battle. Folks, when you're trying to break free and break through something, all right, it's a battle. It's a war. And people don't understand that, all right? So, yes, do light workers. My wife will tell you, do I get down? Do I get sad? Do I get angry? Do I get depressed? Absolutely. All right? But it takes someone like my wife to walk up and bump me and go, hey, what would you tell one of your clients? How would you be dealing with this? And I'm like, holy crap. Okay. All right. And Chassity, the way you're dancing and you put yourself out there, you don't understand how you help people just regain a little bit of energy or whatnot in your silliness. And I cannot tell you how much we need other people to do that. And thank you. I want to say that from the bottom of my heart.
I'm with you on that.
Chassity has quite a story to tell. Appreciated the conversation, Rob, and she had her on. Time to do it again. Time to bring her on. Because again, she's got a big pharma story. And I ran a Subutex clinic. Okay? And one of my aggravations was we're giving people, we substituted a drug for a drug, but we didn't give them any exit plan. We just left them hung up on this drug, okay? Which was harder to break than if we'd have just said, come with us. We're going to baby you for a few days or whatnot. And that's a multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry. So that is one of those things that, yes, these are where the reptilians, different things will move to keep us fighting each other, bogged down, and they're very slippery, you know?
Yes, they
Now,
are.
I want to say this. Living in Florida and in South Florida, where the iguanas have started to invade, okay, because people have had them for pets and let them go. You will think you're being attacked by a reptilian, okay, if you drop a piece of food and one's around, okay, or B, it turns cold and they fall out of a tree right on your head, okay, it'll freak you right the hell out, okay, it's disgusting. I hate it, okay, I absolutely hate it, but you know that's just one of those things, and but you know just being silly or whatnot. So reptilians, we were talking about reptilians, all right. You know, one of the things I want us to all right, so I was asking you a question about reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
So which came first, humans or reptilians? What do you think?
I think that they invaded this planet.
Okay.
I think so we have to understand also that it's not just our planet that has humanoid life forms to it. We're not out of billions of planets, we can't be the only one. Okay.
Right.
And science is set out to kind of look for it and stuff like that. But we have to understand that there's different dimensions of life, right? Not just physical stuff.
Right.
What came first? I think, honestly, the reptilians were probably there first, as this planet was being settled in light and life. And we're not the only planet that they have attacked, by the way, because I have, going to sound really weird, but I have been to these other planets helping souls cross over from other planets. It gets very sophisticated at times. Not to sound too much like a wackadoo, but so I think they were there first, and I think humanity came, and they are in search. You remember the old Star Trek series, The Borg?
Oh yeah.
Similar concept. They have a hive mind mentality too. So do the Greys. They're a hive mind mentality. And so they work in pods. And humanity, first of all, we have probably the most beautiful planet out in our solar system. Okay. When you look at all the other planets, we are at the best looking one. All right. Telescope Hubble, right? We got the good looking planet.
Well, hell, you and I are here. You know?
I know, right?
Ta-da.
Yeah. You know what? They've seen reptilians gambling. Yeah. And they win. Yes. They can control the cards. They use a lot of telepathy.
Well,
and
let me ask you this.
Control.
Now, I'm going to throw something heavy at you, and I've never heard this said before. So here's a Rob theory, okay?
Okay.
If you go to the Bible, it talks about the fall of Lucifer and how he was this beautiful, one of the most beautiful angels, okay? There are, not the little pitchfork stuff, okay? Are reptilians, could they be either responsible for possessing Lucifer while he was in heaven and changing that behavior, or B, they are some of Lucifer's fellow fallen legion, because we're told he brought his minions with him. They're here to help, just to steer us off. Okay.
I think when the Luciferic forces left the light of God, there were many species. And this is my theory based on the work I've done, which is just, these moments in time, right?
Right.
When they left the light of God, they're like, oh, snap, we need an energy source. And I think this is kind of how it started. And I think the light side was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. Wonder what's going to happen. They didn't go after them. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves. Why not? Right? Because I don't have an answer for that. Other than this is just probably the biggest social experiment in the universe. I don't know. It's just, I start yelling at my guides a lot. Okay, I do. And they, like, get your heads out of your ARASSES. Like, wait, you don't have any. Never mind. But in all seriousness, I think they left the light of God together. There are many species. There's many species on this planet. There's many forms of humans on this planet, right? We've
Right.
got, Mongoloid, African American. We've got, I'm going to say giants. We've got dwarfs. I mean, many things. It's the same thing
Right.
in those other realms. And these reptilians, by the way, the person said they could see them gambling. I can see them too when they're in certain things and in certain situations. They can phase in and out of the third dimension. So have been times where people can see a reptilian. Now, do you remember a year and a half ago? I'm going to switch it a little bit here. The woman on the airplane who was terrified that she said she saw a reptilian with inside the sky. I don't know if you guys remember that.
I don't remember it. I remember something of it, but I don't remember
So she kind of went ballistic on the airplane that there was this reptilian, and it was this guy sitting in a hoodie. I believe there probably was a reptilian inside that human body, and it showed itself to her to freak her out. She's not crazy. She was terrified, and it did it on purpose. It was just fun.
Yeah, because think of the energy level that went through that plane when that happened.
Oh, and throughout the news media, throughout the world, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And folks, that's where, like I said earlier, you're not meant to challenge every evil thing, anything. Sometimes the best thing is to walk away from it. Okay? If it comes after you, that's different. Then we have to take, but go find. That's when you call in your angels. And I will say time and time again, you need to remember, angels are here to protect you, but you need to call upon them and give them explicit orders for your protection. Laura and I have talked about this over and over again. Guides are here to lead you and tell you. They are not here to protect you. All right? So make sure you're calling on the right body, okay, to come in to pick you, okay? What was that?
Yep. So
yeah, that's when you roundhouse kick it. Just kidding, Elsa.
Yep.
But you know what? You make sure you're dealing with the right thing, because this is not something to play with. It's not. And, there are times, like I've said, where, man, I have been directly confronted with some dark, dark stuff.
Yeah.
Particularly when I was in law enforcement. And out of about 15 years, I think I spent 10 years on the overnight shift, okay? Which was 6P to 6A. So it wasn't an 8-hour shift or a 10, it was a 12. And let me tell you something, when people talk about things happening at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, when things are at its darkest, oh no, they ain't kidding.
Yeah. The energy is calmer and easier for them to work through it those hours too.
Absolutely. And wherever you're at, the majority of the people at that time are asleep and they're more vulnerable. Things are happening. So things will move. Things will move around and work and do those types of things,
And ask yourself, are you doing something that creates a leak or a hole or something that invites them? And I think that's just a fair question. And, it may be something innocuous that we don't know about. What's the weak spot? Where is it? Yeah.
Exactly. And why, these things are smart, okay? And they will take you in the places you're weakest at. So if you don't know, and I think this is one of the reasons why the world is in such, I say the world, not just our country, the world is in such freaking turmoil, is, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, there were solid belief systems.
Yeah.
And people had some type of grasp of some system. Now people are doubting everything. And with that doubt, when they're faced with fear, when they're faced with something, they don't know where to turn. And I think that is part of the fear that's so rampant, because I don't care if you believe in my God or not. I don't care if you believe in Jesus. I don't care if you believe in Jesus, Mary, little Bo Peep's mama. I don't care, okay? But if you're going to believe in little Bo Peep's mama, believe in it, all right? And then find out, what do I do, all right? Because so many people are finding out now. They're all like, oh, none of this is real. It didn't happen or whatnot, okay? Well, then they don't have an answer for certain things. So I challenge everybody, get grounded in your faith, whatever that faith is. If it is in you and your higher conscious, we have been given every gift we need to succeed. That's what the magician tells us in tarot, okay? The universe has given us all intuition, power, knowledge, all of these things. We have them, but we're not using our toolbox. We don't know how to use the tools in our toolbox. A lot of us left the damn toolbox at home.
Our spiritual toolbox is a huge asset, and we have to always add to it and change it. Yep. This is a great question here.
Absolutely.
We
talked about this a couple of shows ago.
Yeah, these things can come through the TV airwaves, and there is something more external behind it, because how do they get that information? One of the more interesting series, I think it's because it's the most popular, was the Harry Potter series. Mm-hmm. A lot of what's in Harry Potter exists in our world, believe it or not. Those Dementor beings exist. They don't quite look like that Hollywood sexy, but they exist and they're there. And so, yeah, there is stuff about that. And, I've behind my TV, I have actually written down on a card requesting that the angels protect anything coming in through my TV. I'm requesting that angels remove anything that comes through my TV, my electronics, without my consent. That is not for my higher good. They remove it immediately. I just have those words taped on the backside of my TV and stuff. It's simple. It's easy. And it works.
And nobody's got to know it's there.
No, you would have no idea how weird my house is, okay? It's just layers of
crystals all over ours. Yeah.
And you hide the weirdness, okay? Especially when my kids were little. I mean, we didn't need it. No one needed to see our, 500 feng shui mirrors trying to protect our house.
Right. And that's one of those things that, I'm gonna raise up a card here. Okay. The Nine of Cups. And one of the things I want you to see, DW, all right, is the Nine of Coins, I'm sorry, not Nine of Cups, is about manifesting in the real world. The 9 is manifesting. And remember that my wife has hung a thing up right outside of one of our offices, things like that, and I'm in a downstairs office now. What you focus on, you create. And I think we need to do a show on that too, Laura, and
that'd be
really
a great
get into
one.
it. Because I want people to understand there's a reason. Does a real witch or spell casting require all of these, you mentioned Harry Potter, all the crazy little spells. Mm-hmm. No, they don't. But by our words and speaking them, let's talk about, now here's the science behind it, okay? When we cast a spell, for good or for evil, all right, our brain summons what we want to do. Our thought then formulates that into we bring it from subconscious to conscious, all right? Then, in order to speak it, we use our air, we use our vocal cords, all of this energy. Look at all the physical energy that it takes to put that spell out there. Now, a lot of people don't understand. They think that's where it ends. but it doesn't. And this, folks, is the strength of a real positive affirmation. So I'm going to flip the script on you, okay? Once you speak it, your ears hear it, okay? And now your conscious and subconscious reprocess it. What you focus on, DW, and you are absolutely right. When we go to bed focusing on Criminal Minds, I told you, I cut it off back a long time ago. I love the show. We watch it early in the evenings or whatnot, but we generally end up with something very light, whatnot, because it's too dark. Some of it's gotten too real. All right?
Yeah.
And when you focus that energy, we're lowering our own frequency to allow some of these things in. And I want to ask everyone a question. I want you to stop and think about it. Why do we like those shows? Why do they put them on at the time they do? All right. And why do we love horror flicks, things like that, the scary things?
Yeah.
There's a reason. All right. Yes, you're right. And here we go. Got a question. Could you guys ever do a show about all the info out there telling people that we live in a soul harvesting matrix and that the light is a soul trap when we die that forces us to reincarnate? Okay. Wow.
This is complicated.
It is complicated.
You know what? Yes, actually, I'm thinking I need to do a blog on that. It's very complicated, and we can do a show on it too.
Yeah, we might have to do it. We might have to break that one down. That might become a series. Series.
This soul harvesting, and this is where I talk about soul health all the time, right? We talk about our physical, our mental, emotional, blah, blah, blah. Our soul health is it, man. It comes down to the soul health. And DW, yeah, that's a great idea. Because the healthier our soul is, the more freedom we have. So that's a great question. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy topic.
Absolutely. And here's one of the things I want people to understand, even that, okay? Be careful. Yeah. We start dwelling on the bad things that could happen.
Yeah.
Let me tell you one of the stories I heard one time that proved how something dark can take something good and turn it bad and keep somebody from doing the work they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. This one young man I listened to years ago, it was back when I was policing. It was one of these talk shows. All right. And he was a reverend, spent 15 years trying to prove, and I believe he proved to a degree, okay, that Christ was black. My first question is, who cares?
Yep.
If he's the God if he's the son of the one true God, like everybody, that's the whole point, okay? Then how many people do you think are going to go to heaven and go, oh no, look at all the black folks, I'm going to hell? It just ain't going to happen. All right. Nope. They won't care. And you might have a lot of people going, oh, I need to wake my ass up. Okay. This is a little different than I thought. All right. But my point being is, this man talked about Christ, talked about his deity and what he was here for and everything else. But in 10 years, according to his own testimony, he didn't witness to anybody. He became all consumed with proving Christ was black. And you know what? At the time, when we go back to the time frame I'm talking about, I believe that might have been important to prove a point. Okay? However, we took a man, and I think this was a good man, And all we did was push him in the wrong direction, give him a little nudge, and it took somebody out of play. Like you said, if they're not messing with you, you might want to ask out, why aren't they messing with me? So yes, DW, there are a lot of things here that you need to know about or whatnot, but be careful about focusing on that, because again, we in turn open ourselves up to that.
So with his question, or her question, I'm not really quite sure. I have seen the reptilian soul harvesting. I have seen it. And that's a whole nother story. It's terrifying. It's horrifying. I don't want to really go down that dark rabbit hole tonight, but it's very real. And they're not the only ones that do it. So, yep. I'm a he. Excellent.
Oh, that's funny.
Also,
oh, yeah, people don't know. We think.
Well, I got the initials. We got a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's
so.
Funny.
All right.
Thank you, DW. That's cool. So we've been at this for a while, and I don't want to. I think we're getting to a point where this is probably a good time to wrap things up or whatnot. But folks, there's so much to learn, and Laura and I love to share our experience and bring people into light. Question, ask, know. All right. We're not trying to convince you our religion, our thought. Laura and I disagree on some things as far as religion or different spirituality things or whatnot. But I know this. If Laura needs me to battle something dark, I'm there. If I need Laura, it's a phone call.
Yeah.
And she's there. This is one of those things. So, yeah, don't be like the rest of the world and get caught up in all the little crap. Bottom line is, remember what I talked about, what Jesus was talking about, is it's all about your intentions. I have people all the time, you're dealing with tarot cards? Yeah, but I'm not asking the dark, the god of Hades to come up and let me see, when's Laura going to die?
And you're vetting also, right? It's not just that, but you're also vetting your answers or your information.
Exactly. But you will actually hear me pray and say, our Heavenly Father, Mother, Divine, Spirit, Universe, Angels, Guides, Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Divine Feminine, kind of covers it all, okay? And say, please help me see. And the cards are just a tool. These cards aren't speaking to me. You know what? I love this deck, all right? But if I accidentally drop it in the sink, all right, you know what I'm going to do? Ask my wife to buy me another deck, okay? They're cardboard, all right? It is not about the cards. It's not about putting my faith anywhere, but it's about the ability, and this is where Laura's at, when she sees things and knows things and can see other things, because we put our faith and we to open our conscious, our mind, so we can see and hear and give messages that need to be told. There's no darkness here, folks. Not on mine or Laura's behalf. So that's one of the things. Miss Laura, anything else?
And always, what rings true for you, right? And why?
Right.
That's what we got to ask ourselves.
Oh, yeah. I love it. We have a curveballer here. Okay.
All right. Excellent.
Love it. Hey, we love it. And if we don't know, we'll say, I don't know, but we'll examine it. Yeah. And DW, I am going to be live Monday and Wednesday. And Laura and I were talking earlier about maybe we'll just start doing the Teacher to Exorcist show. Let's talk about that this week, Laura, that maybe we should just pop on here.
I like it.
Easier.
It's easy.
It's easier than us doing our pre-recorded shows.
I need to get better gear, though, because right now I got this going on. I got a sock inside my cup.
She's got her mic wrapped in a sock, and no, it's not one of my socks, okay? Crammed in a cup or whatnot. Yeah, and what's funny, Gillian and I have matching mugs. Normally everybody sees me. I've got Gillian's mug tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. So, G, that's what's going on.
I got a
find
brass
out.
knuckle
Yeah.
mug. I'll start bringing out.
That's it. We'll start bringing out some more mugs. We were talking about having some TWAA mugs actually made,
There
for
you
some
go.
merchandise or something. So we will see, folks. Miss Laura, anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I think we're good. Thank you so much, and thank everybody for spending time with us tonight. I know everybody has so many other options in their life, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Deborah. You know. We went there tonight for sure. Love these conversations. We will have, and you know what? This is my buddy for these types of conversations. So,
Yep. Likewise.
Yes, we'd love to do that. So I think we might. I really feel like this felt good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
me too. It's always good spending time with you, sir.
Always, always, always. So, on behalf of Miss Laura and myself, take what you want. Leave what you don't, but leave having experienced some peace, love, and light. Bangarang!